So, Rabbi, thank you very much for accepting my invitation for today. Maybe you can introduce yourself for anyone who's watching who doesn't know you yet.
With pleasure, of course. My name is Dovi, Rabbi Dovi PINKOVITCH from Amsterdam. I've been here in Shlichut as a Chabad rabbi in Amsterdam city center already for 6 years now. And yeah, trying to spread goodness and kindness and the light in the world, and
Baruch
especially in
Hashem.
Amsterdam city center.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Maybe you can tell us about your story. What first drew you to a life of Jewish leadership to become a rabbi? How did your early experiences shape your outlook?
So I grew up in Yerushalayim, in a small neighborhood called Rechavia. And when I was in yeshiva in Kiryat Gat, in Chabad yeshiva in Kiryat Gat, and I'd say about 16, I decided that I want to become a shaliach, I want to become a rabbi somewhere, if it's in the world, if it's in Israel, but I want to dedicate my life to spreading Yiddishkeit, spreading Judaism, and spreading Hashem's word, if you could say this way, in the world. And so I decided to go in this path, and I was trying very hard during yeshiva to study, to learn, to be more and more um, facing this way. And I got married 2017 after I graduated in Israel, the yeshiva 6 years in Israel and 3 years in in New York in 770 in Brooklyn, New York. When I also got my first rabbinical degree, the smicha, as we call it in Hebrew, the smicha for rabbanut. And then I was in the army for 2 years, and then we decided we have to move on. We want to become shluchim. We want to become rabbi and rebbetzin. We had already a son back then, so yeah, we searched around a little bit. We had some offers in Israel. We had some offers outside, and I always said that everything is by divine providence, and we got here. We got a good offer from here. It looks like we're gonna fit very very well, and Baruch Hashem, we came here.
That's great. That's great. May I ask, did you grow up
Yeah,
in a secular religious background? What was your background like?
yeah. I grew up in Chabad background, meaning yeah, not only religious but Chabad and on the values of Chabad. Not in a Chabad house. Like my parents are not shluchim or not. My father is a rabbi, but not as a shaliach, not as a rabbi. He's a very very big Talmid Chacham, someone who knows a lot, very very special person. So I got a lot of values from home. Yeah, but I'm the first one from a family that decided actually to, dedicate his life in this way. Um, yeah,
Baruch Hashem. Wanted to ask you, how can spiritual leaders, in this case rabbis, help people to stay connected to faith and attract them to Judaism in an increasingly secular and fast-paced society?
I believe that every person is always in a search for meaning. You could, sometimes you could deny it. Sometimes you could, you could also like don't think about it for a second, for some time. But at the end of the day, we all have neshama. We all have a soul, and the soul is always looking to be connected to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. That means that sooner or later you're going to feel it, and sooner or later you're going to decide, okay, I can't deny it anymore, and I can't, pretend that I don't have it. And instead of being, happy from everything you have in life, you will say, oh, 1 second, I have something is missing, and you could find it only by Torah, by mitzvot, by being connected to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And our job is to be there when you. First of all, it starts. I could say it starts also before um, to help you, to help the people find this desire that they have somewhere, um, and to be there and to give answers for the questions and to guide what should be the way how to connect to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Meaning, what material should you learn? What the Torah is so wide. It's so much what to learn, and but you have to find just to go step by step. And this is something that needs a good guidance. And mitzvot, if what is what can someone could take upon himself that he could honor to do it in the right track, to do it in the right way, to slowly add and add and add as until we always add things. There's no until, there's no end point, but yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. Uh, but what do you think are the challenges that people face nowadays, or communities themselves? For example, modern life represents various different types of, well, in this case, challenges that people face in the modern age, because of course it varies depending on the context and the background and the time. But in your opinion, what are like these challenges themselves? Of course, like a broad perspective of it.
It's a good question. That's a good question. I tell you what, I'm dealing mostly with young Israelis and tourists. Those are the crowd that are coming to my Chavaros, are coming to us, and this is the crowd that we're targeting. So young Israelis, the challenge, that, if you could call it this way, with this crowd is that if you're born and raised in Israel, then the way how someone who doesn't grow up in a religious environment in Israel, you feel your Judaism even without having it. Meaning, for someone who was born outside of Israel and like live his life outside of Israel, you always need something in order to feel Jewish. You know what I mean? So you see a lot more of secular people going to shul because this is something, this is where the Judaism finds the spot. So they know they're Jewish and they're doing something. Could be a very small thing, could be bigger. It depends on each one with his life. But if you were born in Israel, so many people that were born in Israel, like they never thought of, what can we do to practice our Judaism? Because if you're Israeli, so you feel enough Jewish without doing actually to practical Judaism. And this is something that this is a challenge that first of all, Israeli rabbis, like rabbis in Israel, but also rabbis that for Israeli communities outside of Israel, they find it very challenging because you have to explain to someone, you know, Hanukkah is something it's a spiritual, it's a spiritual holiday. It's not only for the donuts, but it's also you actually have to light candles. So you actually but as soon as Israelis going out of Israel, a lot of times they have this, they feel that something is missing because they don't have the Israelischkeit anymore. They don't, inside of their, of Israel. So they do find something is missing, but a lot of times instead of complete this whole with going to shul or coming to Chabad or whatever, they finding something else by their neighbors. It could be a Christmas tree or it could be other things which they will never think of it when they were, when they were in Israel because they're Jewish. But here now, so this is a challenge that it's that we see a lot, and what we try always to do is to remind everyone that remind every Jew, that first of all we are Jewish, first of all we are the sons of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. If we live in Israel, if we not live in Israel, it doesn't make a difference. The mitzvot, the Torah that we have, it's something that we have it everywhere, and it's something that we have to practice as much as we can and learn the Torah as much as we can, etc.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And there's something that I've heard a lot, especially coming from younger people, young Jews, which is the shidduch crisis. You've definitely, I'm sure you've definitely heard about it, and I want to know your opinion about it, and maybe what do you think are the main factors that compose the shidduch crisis, and how can we solve it? Which is, I know it's a pretty broad question that doesn't have one single answer, but in your opinion, what's the solution to it, kind of thing, you know?
I tell you what. First of all, the crisis exists very much. I see it. I see it all the time. There's so many good, yeah, good Jewish boys, good Jewish girls that and it's very, very, very shame that I remember I had a friend here, and he was looking for he was really looking for Israeli shidduch, for Jewish to get married to Jewish person, and it was really, really trying. It just didn't work for him. He ended up getting married to a Chinese girl here. For me, it was devastating. Obviously that he wasn't that connected before, but since then, he was like completely out of touch, or like he was not connected at all anymore. Still, unfortunately, and so the crisis exists. I don't know why. I mean, yeah, every person has, especially when you go to, for example, when you're in Israel, so you have how do you say it in English? Hitzea v'bikush, the hitzea, the amount of people that are there, the amount of Jewish people, it's amazing. Yeah, also in New York and every big community, you could find your soulmate, as you say. You could find there's so many people, so you could find Bezat Hashem. But in smaller communities, it's very, very hard because at the end of the day, if you know somebody and it just doesn't work out, you try someone else. But there's a limit of people, and there also you feel like it's like one big group, so it's a very big it's a very big issue. What I always say to people, first of all, there is to come as much as possible to events of other young people. If it's Shabbat meals, if it's whatever, every holiday and every meeting, every special meeting that the young people has, just go there. You can never you can never know. Maybe you could find your soulmate there. And but also there is something called Mitet Chabad. There's a project that try to match people. It's a very interesting project, and that also the other projects as well that are trying to get people together from all over the world. And at the end of the day, I truly believe that um, everyone can find their Jewish soulmate, and it's if you want it, at the end of the day you'll find it. It's sometimes it's hard. You have to work on it. You have to find a solution, but speak to the rabbi that he should speak to other rabbis. Speak to but fine. Be active. Don't sit in your couch and think, oh, it's hard and it's crisis. If it's crisis, you should be the first one to get a shidduch, and don't wait for all the shidduchim to get to not to be there anymore. Yeah,
Yeah, ultimately, it depends on the person's will, kind of thing. You mentioned you served.
of course.
Yeah,
I could tell you, I could tell you something. Tell you something. I could hear one week. I could hear from some of the boys here. There are no Jewish girls in Amsterdam. Everyone are boys, and then I could hear a week after. There's so many girls here. There are no boys. There are no Jewish boys in Amsterdam. So it's all perspective,
right, for
and
sure.
yeah, obviously there's a lot of things as well. But at the end of the day, siyata dishmaya for Kadosh Baruch Hu, if you will do yours, Kadosh Baruch Hu will help to find the right shidduch for you. B'ezrat Hashem.
Bezrat Hashem. You mentioned you served in the army. I'm sure you know about the current landscape of, well, there's pretty much a division in Israel at the moment. People who think that full time Talmidim Yeshivot should not go to serve in the army. People who think they should. What do you think about that? What's your perspective?
Um, it's a very long conversation.
For sure.
I could tell you in very short. The problem is that no one really wants the solution in Israel. No one wants the solution. Those who say that we have to draft them, they don't really want to draft them. Those who says, oh, we don't want to get drafted, they don't. It's not. The problem is that they're trying to fight. It's not trying to get a solution. I can tell you, my job in the army was to help from soldiers in the army, like to get because it's a different world. Imagine you're coming from a religious house, from a religious family. You never heard of the terms of the army. You were never raised in a way that you're looking forward to go to the army, or that you will go to the army, and you don't know anything about the army, and then you get to the army, and there's so many things, and the army is not a religious place, so there are sometimes there's contradictions, with and I was in a unit that our job was to try to be to be a middleman between understanding the frum soldier, the Haredi soldier, and to understand the army, the need of the army, and to try to put them together. So, for example, I would have get calls, could be even Friday afternoon when there is like someone like me in the army doesn't work that time. I can get a call from a group of Haredi soldiers that are somewhere and they don't have Sefer Torah for Shabbat. Now, this is like something that they need to have Sefer Torah for Shabbat. This is like in the contract between the army and the Haredi soldiers, they have Sefer Torah in Shabbat, and we would have go until like very very high in the chain in order to get Sefer Torah for them. Now, I do believe that someone who cannot be in yeshiva or doesn't want to be in yeshiva certainly needs to go to the army. It's Kiddush Hashem, and it's needed, and absolutely it's something that if you're not in yeshiva, if you're not if you're not learning Torah, if you are not in this way, you should definitely go to the army. If you are in yeshiva, you should stay in yeshiva, you should learn Torah for the success of the army. It's something incredible. We see that in the Torah of the Rebbe, how the Rebbe looked at the because today it's like you see black and white. So there are people that say, oh, no one should learn Torah. There are people who say, oh, no one should go to the army. There's no like in between. And the Rebbe always said that um, the Rebbe always said that it combines together. You need both of them. This is something that you need. You need to understand that there are two needs here. There's a need to fight. There's a need to learn Torah. You cannot exist not without it, not without it. Because who wants us to have on one hand the army, but on the other hand, he wants us to have those people who sit and learn Torah. It is something crucial for Am Yisrael existence, and that's why obviously it should be the people who could sit and learn Torah should stay in learning Torah. Myself, I was in yeshiva all the years. Again, I felt this is something that I wanted to do was something meaningful. I wanted to do something that I could help with, and I really I can tell you that there was maybe a year and a half or 2 years after we came here. It's like I'm taking about 2021 or so. In COVID, there was a guy came here and he's like, "You don't recognize me?" I said, "No, I don't recognize you." Said he said, "I owe you so much." I said, "Why?" Said, I dropped out of yeshiva. I went to the army. I went to combat, but I didn't do well. Like it was he had listening issues, whatever. Just the same reason why he dropped out of yeshiva. He dropped out a combat, and he came to my office because we needed to put him somewhere else. And and he came over to me, and I remember he says, "I want it in the army. There's something called chamesh teisha yomiyot. I want to work. I want to be in the army 5 days, and to get 9 days at home, and that's it. That's what I want to do. He wanted to do like the easiest of the easiest. Like he didn't want to do anything in the army. And we told him, listen, you're a young guy. You are 18. You have nothing to do at home. There's nothing for you. You could do something meaningful in the army. We took him to he passed some test, became electrician. He became an electrician, and he told me when he came there, he said, "I finished all my exams. I already work for the army, and I have a contract with the army. Even after I finish my duty, I will stay working for the army for a few more years with a good salary, with a good." And this is something I'm talking about. Someone who never learned math in school. So I I did something meaningful, um, and everyone could actually do something meaningful.
There are solutions for sure to this problem, this issue for sure. But
Absolutely. Only
definitely,
only goodwill. Only goodwill. That's
all
the only thing.
only goodwill. Well, B'ezrat Hashem, it won't take long to find those solutions. And to wrap this up, I wanted to ask you if you have a message to any Jews who are in the process of reconnecting to the source, to the ultimate source, especially young Jews who are in this getting back into the derech.
I want to tell you guys that I am every time that I'm sitting with someone who's as you said, try to reconnect and try to get back to the derech. I am every time I'm inspired. Every time I sit with someone who is getting back connected to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, I'm so inspired because you could see the desire in the eyes. You could see how and it's incredible the way how every person like this is doing by knowing more and the desire of learn more and practice more mitzvot. And sometimes I can tell the guy, listen, are you sure that you're ready? And it's like 100%. I'm sure I'm ready for it. I'm ready if it's a Shabbat, if it's another shiur in the week, if it's Masot, every time. And this is very inspiring to me. And you should know that you are for sure you're doing the right thing, and for sure it's a very very big step, not only for yourself but for the entire nation, because every person that get more connected to Hakadosh Baruch Hu helps to connect the whole nation to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. So I want to wish a huge success to each and everyone to find your way, to find your teacher, to find the one who could guide you, and and to get more and more connected to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And I wish that one day I will also be have this desire, so as you have. I wish that I don't wish that one day. I wish that today I will have it. I wish that every day I will live just like you wake up every day and every morning and continue your journey. I hope that I will have this passion. I will feel it just the way that you feel it.
Bezrat Hashem. Rabbi Pinkovitch, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure to me, and a lot of success in everything you're doing. Thank you.
Likewise.